Romance me by midnight. The clock read 11:17 p.m. as Alara sat by the frosted window of the old cafe, absently stirring her chamomile tea. Snow dusted the cobblestone streets outside, and the city's usual buzz had quieted into a hushed lull. She glanced once more at her phone. No messages. She almost didn't come, almost let the silence speak for him. But she remembered what he said the last time they met. 3 weeks ago, beneath the amber glow of that same streetlight. "Give me until midnight," he whispered. "And if you still want me gone, I'll disappear." The hours since then had stretched like years. Every day a question. Every night a heartbeat softer than the last. Then, at 11:48, the bell above the cafe door chimed. She didn't turn right away. She didn't need to. His scent, pine and cinnamon, wrapped around her like memory. "You came," she said, voice barely above a breath. "I almost didn't," Julian replied. "But then I remembered the way you looked at me that night. Like you were saying goodbye and hoping I'd stop you." Alara finally looked up. His eyes were still stormy blue, still searching, still hers. "Do you know what time it is?" she asked, a playful warning in her tone. He took her hand, warm despite the chill. "Enough time left to say what I never did." "Then say it," she whispered. Julian leaned close, his lips trembling against her temple. "I love you. And if it takes 1,000 midnights to earn you back, I'll wait through every one." Outside, snow began to fall again, soft as a promise. Inside, the clock ticked toward midnight. And this time, she didn't let go. By 11:17, she was ready to forget. By 11:59, she remembered why she never could. The snow had started around 9 p.m. Soft and slow, like the sky was hesitant to weep. Alara watched it gather along the cobbled street through the cafe window, her breath fogging the glass. The world outside looked like a postcard, quiet, picturesque, lifeless. The cafe, tucked between a florist and an old bookshop, was nearly empty. Just an elderly couple sharing. Cocoa in the corner and a barista humming. Something vintage behind the counter. The low jazz playing over the speakers. Couldn't quite reach the weight in her chest. Her hands were wrapped around a ceramic mug, half filled with now lukewarm tea. She hadn't taken a sip in 20 minutes. Every time the bell over the cafe door chimed, her heart stuttered. But it was never him. Julian. 3 weeks had passed since she'd seen him last. Not a call, not a text, just that final conversation under the flickering street lamp outside her apartment. "I need time," he'd said. "For what?" she asked. "To be who you deserve, not who I've been." "Then how will I know you're coming back?" He'd paused, his breath visible in the cold. "Give me until midnight," he whispered. "If I'm not there by then?" "Forget me." A cruel deal. One she'd agreed to. One she thought she'd come to accept. Until tonight. She checked her phone again. 11:49 p.m. Her fingers tightened on the mug. She should leave. She should get up, walk out into the snow, and let him vanish like a badly written chapter in a book. That had dragged on too long. But just as she stood, the bell rang. She froze. The barista didn't greet the newcomer. No footsteps came immediately. Then she heard it. The shuffle of boots hesitating on tile. Snow melting onto the floor. A breath sharp, almost painful. Alara. She turned slowly. Her heart was a drum in her chest, but she kept her expression unreadable. He stood just inside the doorway, dusted in snow, looking as if he'd just run through 1,000 regrets to reach her. His dark coat was half unbuttoned, revealing the blue scarf she'd knitted him 2 winters ago. His hair was damp, eyes wide, the kind of wide that only came from fear or hope. "I didn't think you'd come," she said, voice carefully steady. "I wasn't sure I should," Julian admitted, stepping closer. Not after how I left. Not after everything I didn't say. She didn't move. Then why now? He looked at her like she was the only thing in the room that had ever mattered. Because every hour I stayed away, I lost a piece of myself. And at 11:46 tonight, I realized I didn't want to live in a world where you didn't wait. Silence settled between them, heavy and sacred. You were cruel, she said. Making me wait. Telling me to forget. That's not love. No, he agreed. It wasn't, but this is. He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a small, wrinkled piece of paper. Her letter. The one she'd slipped into his hand. That night words she never spoke. The waiting. Elara traced her fingertip along the edge of her teacup. The porcelain cool and smooth beneath her skin. The warmth had long since faded from her drink. Just as the warmth had faded from the memory of Julian's last kiss. She still remembered the night he left. The sharp, aching cold that cut between his words. The way his fingers twitched like he wanted to touch her, but didn't dare. Outside the cafe window, snow fell in slow spirals beneath the amber glow of the street lamp. It was the kind of snow that silenced a city soft, reverent and still. Pedestrians passed in pairs or not at all. Lovers walked hand in hand. Some pausing under the flickering Christmas lights strung between rooftops. She couldn't watch them too long. Not tonight. Inside, the cafe smelled like cinnamon, espresso, and fading dreams. The dim lighting made the dark wooden floors glisten as though they, too, remembered better nights. Ilara's table was pushed into the corner by the window. Just how she liked it close enough to see the world. Far enough not to be part of it. Her phone screen lit up. 11:53 p.m. Still nothing from him. Her thumb hovered over his name in her messages. She'd written something. Earlier something halfway between anger and longing but never sent it. Julian, you promised. You said midnight. I didn't think you'd mean the last minute. She deleted it. Again. She was tired of being the only one holding the line between them. The chair across from her sat empty. The space a cruel metaphor. How many nights had they sat there together, sharing secrets, dreams, little glances that meant more than words? Now all she shared it with was silence. And silence was deafening. The return. The bell above the cafe door chimed at 11:54. Elara didn't look up right away. She'd learned not to hope. But something in her spine tensed the kind of instinct you don't learn. Just feel. Boots against tile. A pause. Then the faintest exhale. A voice, low and uncertain. Elara? Her breath hitched. The world slowed. She turned. Julian stood in the doorway, haloed in snow and shadow. His coat clung to his shoulders, the fabric heavy with melted flakes. His scarf blue wool she had made for him during a winter when their love was still new, was twisted awkwardly around his neck, as though he'd put it on in a rush. His eyes, God's, his eyes. They hadn't changed. Still storm grey. Still full of everything he never said. I thought I was too late, he murmured. You almost were. Julian stepped forward, careful, measured, like she might vanish if he moved too fast. I wasn't sure you'd still be here. I wasn't sure either, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. That something kept me. He nodded, glancing down at the floor. Guilt? Hope, she said. That stopped him cold. He looked up, and there it was. The fear. The same fear she'd seen the night he walked away. I hurt you, he said softly. Yes. I left. You did. I couldn't face myself, he went on, voice shaking. I thought if I stayed, I'd keep breaking things. Keep breaking you. So you broke me by leaving instead. Silence again. Only the soft hum of music overhead and the quiet clink of mugs from the barista, who pretended not to listen but clearly was. I never wanted you to wait for me, Julian said. Then why ask me to? Because I was selfish, he said, stepping closer. Because I couldn't stand the thought of you loving someone else. While I was trying to fix myself, I wanted to believe I still had a chance. He reached into his coat and pulled out the letter. The one she had slipped into his hand as she turned away that night. If I let you go, it read, it won't be because I stopped loving you. It will be because you didn't come back. I read this every night, Julian said, voice raw. I carried it like a lifeline. Alara swallowed. Her heart pounded in her throat. Why now, Julian? Why tonight? Because you gave me until midnight, he said. And I didn't realize until too late that it wasn't a deadline. It was mercy. He held out his hand. Please, let me say what I should have said 100 nights ago. She looked at his outstretched fingers, then at the clock above the bar. 11:59. 1 minute, she whispered. Julian stepped closer until their breaths mingled. 1 lifetime, if you'll have it. He touched her cheek, gently, reverently, as if reacquainting himself with something sacred. I love you, he said. And if you'll let me, I'll spend every minute after this one making sure you never have to wait again. Alara's eyes burned, not with pain, with relief, the kind that comes when the storm finally ends. The final chime of midnight rang through the cafe as she leaned into him, their foreheads touching. You're lucky, she murmured, a smile ghosting her lips. You made it just in time. And when they kissed slow, deep, familiar, it wasn't the kind of kiss that fixed everything. It was the kind that promised the fixing would come, one day at a time, together.